Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the QSC booth here at Winter NAMM 2015. Phil Sanchez again, and whoever's watching us, excuse me, on the our webcast, welcome to you. Forgive me, 5 days here in Anaheim. My voice is just about done, but it's my pleasure to present to you our final K for musician artist here at Club QSC for Winter NAMM 2015, Mr. Rich Redmond. And let me tell you a little bit about Rich before we get going. Rich is an influential drummer and percussionist who splits his time between here in LA and a home in Nashville. His versatile, dynamic, and rock-solid drumming is the sound behind many of the day's top artists, and over the course of his career, he's toured with, recorded, or performed with the likes of Jason Aldean, Kelly Clarkson, Jewel, Miranda Lambert. The list is much longer than that. He's recorded 17 #1 singles with over 7 million albums sold and well over 13 million single downloads. He's a high-energy showman, regularly plays to crowds of 20 to 60,000 fans all across North America, and actually probably around the world for that matter. He's been on The Tonight Show, The Jimmy Kimmel Show, Good Morning America, countless shows, including the Grammys. So, actually, I want to tell this one last thing. So, he's also been voted Best Country Drummer and Best Clinician by Modern Drummer magazine, and he combines his classical training with his street march musicianship to bring his passion-filled drumming to the world. So please put your hands together and help me welcome to the QSC stage, Mr. Rich Redmond.
Boys, I met a real country girl.
Talking true blue, out in the woods, down home, country. She's a hot little number in her pickup truck. Daddy sweet money done jacked it up. She's a party all-nighter from South Carolina, a bad mamma jammer from down in Alabama. She's a raging Cajun lunatic from Brunswick, juicy Georgia peach with a thick southern drawl, sexy swinging walk. Brother, she's all country. From her cowboy boots to her down home roots, she's country. From the song she plays to the prayer she prays, that's the way she was born and raised. She ain't afraid to stay country. Brother, she's country. Hill raising sugar when the sun goes down. Mama taught her how to rip up the town. Honey dripping honey from the holler in Kentucky, get you flipping kinda trippy like a Mississippi hippie. She's a Kansas princess, crazy mother trucker, undercover lover, thick southern drawl, sexy swinging walk. Brother, she's all country. From her cowboy boots to her down home roots, she's country. From the song she plays to the prayer she prays, that's the way she was born and raised. She ain't afraid to stay
Very nice, very nice. Oh,
Party keeps going.
it keeps on going. Well, first of all, Rich, thank you very much for joining us here at QSC at Winter NAMM 2015.
Whew.
How you feeling today?
Feeling great, man. This is my cardio for the day.
Cardio for, indeed. We were talking before we actually went on air and before we started this part of the show. You've actually been at NAMM for about 4 days now. What are your thoughts? What do you like about coming to NAMM? All that good stuff.
Well, just coming to this area of the country in general, it's just like a creative entertainment hotspot. You can just feel the energy in the air, you know? I love Southern California. And yeah, I did a pretty good job with just bathing in hand sanitizer and not getting sick. And my mom sells essential oils, so I was doing like essential oils so like I didn't get sick. And I lost my voice a couple times. I don't know if you could tell. Mine's worse than yours.
I'm right behind you, brother.
Because I'm at parties and I'm like, yeah, and then, you know, just screaming at the top of my lungs. But this is, yeah, it's my favorite time of year when I can come out here. The energy is electric because you have the best of songwriters, producers, instrument designers, marketing people, all converging in the same place. So, love NAMM.
You like, and I'm assuming like everybody else who's been up here with us, the ability to connect with old friends and all of that stuff. I'm sure that's part of the NAMM experience for you.
A lot of European kisses, you know. You know, I love it. Yeah, catching up. Yeah, making new friends is great, and even better is seeing old friends that I've had for 20, 25, 30 years.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Has there been anything as you've walked around the show floor? Has anything like sort of grabbed your attention that gear-wise or something cool?
I've been grabbed many times.
Is that cool or not?
I love it. Oh, kidding me? You know, I'm married. You know, you got to get these thrills wherever you can. Look at the QSC booth, man. All these new products that we're trying to promote. This is really, really great. So, you know, I really have a hard time making it out of the drum area because that's such a little microcosm unto itself, and we're just like total gearheads, and there's new products all the time. And so, yeah, I've been kind of floating around that area a lot, and I'm walking past all the things that I missed, and I'm like, shucks, I missed it. But I'm glad I'm here.
Well, we appreciate you being here. I want to ask you, or I want to start with how you got into playing drums, and was that something, at what age did you start playing, and was that something that came naturally? Were you encouraged? Did you come from a very musical background or musical family?
Right. Great question. You know, I started playing drums in 1976 when dinosaurs roamed the earth. And I had to dodge T-Rexes to get to my lessons. It was awesome. But no, it was a thing. I was kind of hitting everything inside. And my dad noticed I had that kind of like type A personality, and he was like, we got to find an outlet for this kid's energy. And I think my dad always wanted to play drums, but he was an accountant. You know, he just retired as an accountant 30 years, and he was a dashboard drummer. And I think that I kind of helped him. I lived his dreams for him, and so he was always a really support. Both of my parents, you know, driving me to lessons, taking me to nightclubs before I could get in, and hauling drum sets around and timpani and glockenspiels and my marching snare drum in the garage. You know, working on my rim shot for like 6 hours at a time. I would do contests with myself if I can like play rim shots for 6 hours and never miss a rim shot, so I could work on my consistency. You know, but yeah, since '76. I joined the school band. I'm a product of music education. I grew up in Texas, which has an amazing music education program. And I truly am the only person in my family that plays music, which is, I'm a black sheep, the black sheep of my family, the brown sheep.
You mentioned playing in the high school band and things of that nature. How about, tell us a little bit about those early club days. You're not old enough to get into the clubs, but I'm curious, what was that like for you?
Well, the year was like 86 through 88, and of course on the radio was Dio, Dokken. It was like, you know, the hair bands, and I had the gigantic toms. And
I think I grew up in that era as well. Many of the folks here,
Yep.
a lot of heads shaking. So
we survived it.
We survived it.
Yep, we discovered scissors.
Actually, scissors did not discover me, but that's another story.
You know what they say, that if you have a little bit of the baldness, it's high testosterone. So good for your wife.
Yeah. Family show, Rich. Let's get back to the club.
Okay.
Back to the club experience. So tell us a little bit about that. You know, you're not old enough to really be there, but I'm just curious.
You know, that's a thing that, you know, you can learn a lot from all the books out there, you know, but there's something about actually taking the music making experience out of the garage and doing it in a communal setting in front of people. It puts another whole spin on the experience, and you can't be a well-rounded musician without doing that. And the sooner you begin, the more seasoned you become. My parents saw that in me, you know, and you know, I didn't really get a car until my second year of college. I was like, hey man, I got to go play a casual with my tuxedo. Can you give me a lift, you know, with my kick and snare? And but it all worked out. All these years later, still playing the drums, still loving what I do, and it's a real, it's my life's work. It's a calling.
Did you always knew then that this is what you wanted to do?
I was lucky because I talk to a lot of people, they don't know necessarily what they want to do with their lives. And I'm shaking them. I'm like, well, what do you like doing? You can make a career out of that. But somehow I had enough foresight to see like, hey, I love doing this. This makes me happy. Can I do this every day of my life? And it worked out, you know?
Good.
Yeah.
Please.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Tell me a little bit about the time where you, for lack of a better word, and this, I don't know if these are the right words, but a moment where you said, aha, this is my big break, or an aha moment like, hey, I've arrived at being a professional musician, I've played with somebody.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little about that.
It's a question you hear thrown around. It's a great question. And I think that everybody's experience is unique. My particular experience was just such incrementally slow baby steps where I would play for somebody and I would play like it was the last time I was ever going to play, and people would talk, and it's a word of mouth business, and that leads to another situation where you shake someone's hands firmly, you look them in the eye, you say thank you for hiring me, you do the best job you can, and it leads to another opportunity. So you create your own opportunities. I think it's dangerous to go, oh, I've arrived. I mean, it's good to celebrate victories along the way, but for me, you know, I think a lot of us, we set out to be rock stars at 21 years old, and then we turn around and we're 41 years old. But
and a rock star.
Yeah, well, I'm a guy behind the guy.
Sure.
But we sold out the Hollywood Bowl, and to me that was like my favorite venue, sold it out, playing for a mix of, you know, upper crusty Angelinos and the people that come from the, you know, the Rancho Cucamongas and the ranches with their cowboy hats, and like, we're doing this in, you know, this is the only venue I know that sells sushi and Chardonnay. Still incredibly fun, and it was kind of like, yeah, man, this is awesome. Now what do we do? Let's keep moving forward, you know?
Got you. Let's talk a little bit about your experience with QSC, how you came to discover QSC and our products. That would, I guess, be my first question. How did you discover QSC?
Well, I'm definitely a recent, hot off the press addition to the artist roster.
That's true.
And I think what we're trying to do here today is not only talk about the quality of QSC products and the long history of QSC products, but the fact that an electronic drum and percussion instrument works great through any QSC product. And I know that I use the K series.
Okay.
And it's affordable, it's portable, it's rugged, tons of sonic clarity. So, you know, I have the Roland SPDSX, I have the Roland TD15, I have a couple of the Roland Hand Sonics, and they work perfectly. So I have those set up in my practice space, in my recording studio, and I'm happy to be here. I couldn't be happier.
Well, no, and we're pleased that you're with us. You are new to the K for Musicians families. Tell us a little bit about what was your rig before you got your, I think, is it K10s that you have specifically? What was the rig before you got your K series loudspeakers?
I have this set of electronic drums in my studio where I do tracking for people around the world. And for the most part, I'm going direct into Pro Tools because I'm sending MIDI information so the person can replace my drum sounds that I choose, but they're capturing my performance. So this is actually, you guys sent me this stuff, and it's my first, loudspeaker setup. So I'm a QSC virgin, and I love it.
Do you have plans to, you've mostly been practicing in your basement, you said, in your studio, doing some work there. Any plans in the, not necessarily foreseeable future, but in the future when out there, maybe doing some smaller club dates taken your K series as sort of your support rig?
It'll definitely be that setup where I take that electronic drum set, which is a smaller version of this, and I do a lot of mom and pop music stores where they may not even have any kind of like PA system. And so that is going to work perfectly. I'll load it into my Honda Element, and off we go. I also do a lot of like motivational speaking, and it might be at like a community center or a kindergarten or a boardroom for a Fortune 500 company. And so I could just take the K series right in there with my Roland product. I'll be set up in 30 minutes and ready to go. Be my own sound engineer.
Well, that sounds great. Hey, do you have? I want to come back and talk to you for a little bit. But do you have? Do you got another tune in you for us?
Yeah, we did. We did a Jason Aldean song, which was on the radio. Now, I'm a big champion of indie artists and people that are out there and they're jumping in a van trying to make something happen. And occasionally, I will get hired to play on a recording session for, say, a band who says, "Hey, man, we got a dude in the band, but he's got like a day job and he's a carpenter, and he just like he took out his thumb, man, and we're on track to do this record, and we need you to come in and pretend to be our drummer." So there's this cool rock band that's kind of like along the lines of like a Nickelback or a Seether, and I had to listen to the song and in under an hour chart it out and become the drummer in that band. It's a cool band called Rocket Queen, a song called Time Bomb. I think they deserve a record deal. I think I can hear this on a movie closing credits, and so I thought I would play this song for you guys today.
Let's hear it once again. Rich Redmond.
Here we go.
To let you walk away, my heart is caving in. I'm put to the test, there's not a single day I don't feel you on my skin. And I've had a taste, the games you play, always we end up the same. Stuck in this place, wasting away, we try but come up empty. Counting down to nothing. It's like a time bomb ticking in my chest, like a shotgun pointed in my head, stepping over landmines, waiting to drop dead as it takes me over. Fast lane, tell me your secret. Now you're stabbing my back like it's a reflex. Watch you cut the brake lines, make it a crash test. You're like, living the lie, we can't face the truth. Forever's giving in. I'm feeling the earth as it starts to move, but here I am again. Still love the taste, and I can't escape. Dead promises we're holding. All things will end, just a matter of when. Everything we had's exploding. Counting down to nothing. It's like a time bomb ticking in my chest, pumping like a shotgun pointed in my head, stepping over landmines, waiting to drop dead as it takes me over. Fast lane, tell me your secret. Now you're stabbing my back like it's a reflex. Watch you cut the brake lines, make it a crash test. Looking like we like the fuse. We like the It's like a time bomb ticking in my chest, pumping like a shotgun pointed in my head, stepping over landmines, waiting to drop dead as it takes me over. Fast lane, tell me your secret. Now you're stabbing my back like it's a reflex. Watch you cut the brake lines, make it a crash test. Looking like it's ticking like a time bomb, ticking like a. It's ticking like a time bomb, ticking like a. It's ticking
Been muted. There we are. Are we there? There we are. Yeah, absolutely, I could see and hear that on closing credits of a nice action movie, as it were.
Or a horror movie.
Horror movie work just as well. And I gotta say, we talked earlier about high energy. If you can't see, the man is definitely sweating, or are you perspiring? I don't know if you sweat or perspire.
I'm sweating like heck all over my Johnny Vatos t-shirt. Not John Varvatos, Johnny Vatos. It's the new designer here in SoCal.
I want to ask you for a second. You mentioned doing some corporate sort of speaking and some clinic type work. Tell us a little bit about that stuff and what you're doing there.
So I came up with a program about 8-9 years ago called CRASH, Course for Success, trademark. And CRASH stands for commitment, relationships, attitude, skill, and hunger. And these are 5 things that the babysitter, the soccer mom, the kid that wants to be a NASA scientist, even a bass player can use these concepts to become a better musician and attract more success to their lives. So I was doing a lot of educational events, and I just wanted to have events that packed a little bit more punch. So the parent or the uncle that brought their kid to the event could actually get something out of my events as well. And before I knew it, I was doing community events and fundraisers and you know, corporate things for Cisco and Johnson & Johnson. And of course, I love bringing that kind of thing to places like MI or the Los Angeles Music Academy or the Drummers Collective in New York. Because the kids all get great musicians that come by. I mean, the world is filled with amazing drummers. And I'm just trying to package something up that is very valuable, that they can take with them and hopefully remember for the rest of their lives and really use.
Okay. I'm assuming we can get some more information about that from your website, and we'll talk about the website in a second. But
Sure.
Where else?
We've got Rich Redmond. It's REDMOND, Redmond.com, or you can go to crashcourseforsuccess.com.
Okay. What else besides these seminars, training that you're doing? What else is happening musically coming down the road in the next several months?
Well, the artist that I work with, Jason Aldean, is a rocker with a cowboy hat. We just released our 6th record, so I can't believe in a 10-year period we have a nice little body of work, over 100 songs recorded. We're going to do an 80-date tour called the Burning It Down Tour, where Jason's headlining, and then we're also going to do 12 stadiums this year opening up for Kenny Chesney, so that's going to be like, you know, hot dogs and beach balls and rum, and it's just going to be a fiesta, you know.
And when does that tour start?
Well, that thing is just kind of sprinkled in throughout the course of the year. I'm sure it's at kennychesney.com. I'm sure it's at jasonaldean.com. So that's happening, which is super, super fun. And then around that, just like everybody in the music business, I try to put words and chords together to write songs. I have a new song out by this country rap artist called Colt Ford, and he recorded a song of mine called Crank It Up. So go support Colt Ford, yeah? And I have a production company called New Voice Entertainment, and we produce artists like Thompson Square and Parmalee and Lindsay L. and David Fanning. These are all artists you can hear on the radio as you're driving down the PCH. So we have to do new products for those people as well.
Very nice. Anything else then before we wrap it up?
I would say support Roland, support QSC, enjoy NAMM. Thank you so much for having me.
Rich, thank you for being here with us. Again, for more information about Rich Redmond and all the things he's got going on, be sure to check his website, richredmond.com, correct?
Yes, sir.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rich Redmond.
Thank you, guys. Let's hear it for this crew here. They've been here for 4 or 5.